We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hassani, and I'm glad that you are tuning in from wherever you may be tuning in around the world. We just want to hear from you. We want you to share. We want you to engage. We're going to have a phenomenal show on today. As you know, we've been in a series for the last week. We're talking about infidelity myths and facts. 4-part series. We want to go deeper. The first 2 parts we were talking about the myths. Today we're going to be talking about some of the facts that you need to be aware of. You know, statistics suggesting the rate, the frequency, the pace, the reasons for why people do what they do in the context of marriage have been outdated. A lot of times you look at information that goes all the way back to 2000. Well, as of 2020, new statistics have come out about the realities of an affair. Now, you have to, when you're dealing with statistics, you have to understand it's based upon a sampling of a group of people. And so you have to give it, you have to take it with a grain of salt, but it does give us an idea or a concept of where infidelity lands in the area of our marriages. So we're excited to get into that topic today. But before we do, as you know, we're on a countdown. We're almost hitting number 1, July. And this weekend is the 4th of July celebration on Sunday. I hope that you take the time to share time with family, eat, but not a lot. Have fun, but not too much. Just do what you do to connect with your family as we celebrate Independence Day. Now, Independence Day is transformational for a lot of people because while some choose to celebrate, others liberate aspects of their lives. And so that's the time where they're seeking financial independence. That is the time where they're trying to become independent or free from addictions and habits and vices and things that have gripped them and have struggled throughout the course of their life. So they're using that as a pivotal day to make a decision to do something different. What a powerful way to start a new chapter in your relationship by saying, you know what, as a couple, we're going to become independent, not of each other, but independent from the things that have held us down. It is our freedom day. It is the day that we're going to take back our lives and pursue things in this relationship so that it is transformational. That is what that day is about. So between now and then, I want you to think about what are the things that you want to be free from. Is it laziness? Is it procrastination? Is it the unwillingness to engage and have great dialogue with your spouse? Is it spending quality time? Whatever the things are that have gotten in the way that you want to free yourself from, use that as day 1, because once you hit that day, it will represent the first day of the rest of your life. So while you're celebrating what it means, you're liberating aspects of your life and relationship by being intentional. And the countdown to, as you know, the Audacity of Marriage Retreat, which is going to be happening July 15th through 17th. You need to register and sign today. We only have 2 slots left. I'm telling you, people are getting in. Are you going to be the next? We only have 2. So by this weekend, we're assuming that it's going to be booked. So take a look at this. We'll be right back. That's right, guys. $297. You don't want to miss out. We're going to have a great time. And so if you're contemplating, if you're still thinking through, just reach out to us and let's see what we can do to help you make a decision that's right for you and your marriage. All right, guys, listen, before we get into today's topic, I do want to acknowledge Zach. Zach is talking about some of the myth. Guys get support after they are the betrayed partner in an affair. False. Other males look at you like you're stupid for staying. How to address this once you've decided to move on? I don't understand the last part. How to address this? So are you deciding to move on away from the relationship? Are you deciding to stay in the relationship? But I will say, collectively, you're right that men typically do not get support. I think traditionally, historically, the way it generally has been, that if a wife cheats, most men are out. They're not thinking about it. They're not contemplating it. It is a absolute never again. I'm out. It's over. Goodbye. I'll see you later. That has significantly changed. To be quite honest, in the last 10 years of working with couples, I haven't even seen that. I think that's more of a myth, that men are absolutely out. I think it's something that we say with other men. I think it's something that society, reinforces. We see it in the media, but that is not the reality. Now, you have to understand that we deal with a lot of couples where the wife was the betrayer in the relationship. And men wrestle with not leaving, but how to overcome the pain when they choose to stay. So I still think overwhelmingly there's a high percentage of men who want to stay, but they're not getting the support necessarily from other men. That's true. But many people are so opinionated and say what they would do and wouldn't do until they're in that actual situation. And this is one of the challenges that many people have, because prior to a relationship, we hear it all the time. If my spouse ever cheats on me, it's over. I'm done. I'm out. And then they feel like they're betraying themselves, and they have an internal wrestling within themselves, because though they said that, and that was their number one rule in their conviction, they find themselves in a different space and place, because now they've been hit and confronted with that reality, and they have more of a desire to stay but don't know how. And many people wrestle with, should they stay? Why? Because they have this strong moral conviction that they've held on to that says leave, or they are tempted to leave because of the influence of family and friends, right? And that's why you have to be careful who you allow to speak into your ear, because if the people speaking into your ear are not feeding you with things that are going to reinforce your healing and your restoration, you can feel tempted to make a decision to honor other people's opinions and requests, as opposed to doing what is right for you. And so there needs to be a support system, and Couples Academy operates as a support system for individuals who do want to stay. I think the biggest struggle, one of the biggest struggles, is how do I get over what has happened? Not to say that men and women have a different struggle, but we deal with the same struggle differently. Not to say that men are in more pain than women, absolutely not, but we just deal with things differently, okay? And it also speaks to the why of the affair. We're going to get into all that today. We're talking about the truths or the facts concerning infidelity. And more specifically, we want to get into really some statistics that I think are going to be helpful. I think Toots says, yes, you never know until it happens. I found that out myself. I think all of us have been in that situation where we've made some allegiance, some internal vow, some decision about whatever. It could be anything in life. And then when you're faced with that reality, you're like, I don't know about that. I was in a different place. I was in a different space. I have so many other things to consider. You know, there's children, there's finances, there's lifestyle, there's community, there's all the years that we spent together. There's a lot more to think about. This is why we say that the rules of the game change after you say I do. If you're in a dating situation and not married, and, even with dating, right? We have 4 seasons. We have the dating season. We have committed courtship, which is a higher level of commitment, but then you have engagement, higher level of commitment, and then you have marriage, higher level of commitment. So the deeper the relationship is, the more committed that relationship is, you're faced with some of the same challenges. I was just talking to a couple literally yesterday. They have been together for 20 years, not married, but together for 20 years. And there has been an affair, and they're trying to figure out how to get through, overcome, and deal with what they've gone through. Wow, time. The time goes by so quickly. Listen, we're going to jump into these statistics on the other side of this break. Stay right there. Stay right there. We're going to have some amazing conversation. This is the Couples Academy Show. Couples Academy is expanding its team to meet the growing demand of people in need of help around the world. So if you're a trained, licensed, or certified expert in marriage enrichment, infidelity recovery, sex therapy, life coaching, cognitive behavioral therapy, divorce mediation, financial coaching, or family therapy, contact us today. All right, guys, we're back. Welcome to the Couples Academy show. We're talking about infidelity, right? So it's more specifically some facts. So I want to give you some statistics that I found quite interesting, and we can dig a little bit deeper into them. But as relates to infidelity, 25% of affairs typically last less than a week. These are the ones that are more physical in nature. Maybe this was a one-night stand, met somebody at a bar, it was a fling, I was away on a business trip or something like that, and while I'm out there, I indulged in something, nothing serious in terms of a long-term type of relationship, but that is what we find. 25% of all affairs last less than a week. Maybe there's been something brewing on the inside and just wanted to experience something, never wanted anything more than that, and now that that high is gone, normalcy sets back in and I can move on. But think about it. How destructive. Something, and oftentimes people use minimizing language, right? We typically hear, oh, it was nothing. It was only, it didn't mean anything. But that small sliver of an experience could change the foundation of your relationship forever. We talk about trust. It takes years to develop trust, but lost in just a moment, in just an act. And that's why these flings are so devastating, even if it's a one-time occurrence. Then 65% of all affairs end within about the first 6 months. So 65%, that's more than half. So this is what we will call more of a hybrid type of an affair. It is physical, yet it's emotional. When you've been together with somebody for 6 months, just think about not being married. Think about dating, right? You're dating someone for 6 months. That comes with phone calls, text messages, interactions, dates, times where you come together to become intimate, right? That's a pretty substantial amount of time. Now, in the grand scheme of things, if you've been married for 20, 25 years, it may not compare in terms of the length of a long-term marriage, but 6 months out of one's life when you are so, caught up in this particular emotional, physical attachment, which is time away from spouse in terms of the love and the connection and the focus that you should be giving them, yes, that can be pretty much damaging. And so what you indulged for 6 months takes a considerable amount of time to overcome the pain and begin the rebuilding process. And this is why they say it takes upwards of 2 years to heal from an affair because of a 6 month journey that you had with another person. Now, as it relates to adultery laws, I thought this was quite interesting. It varies wherever you may be in the country. So depending upon the state that you live in, you're going to have a different reality. Like, for instance, if you live in the state of Michigan, if you commit adultery, you could be in jail for a life sentence if they actually decided to implement that particular law. Like, a lot of times there are laws that exist that nobody actually does anything with, but technically you could go to jail for life in the state of Michigan. In Wisconsin, an affair is considered a class 1 felony. Now, if you live in Maryland, it's a $10 fine. So isn't it interesting how it's important who you select to represent your government on the state level? That's why you have to get involved. You have to vote. You have to be involved in who is representing you. And you have to look at what their positions are, what their views are, how conservative and how liberal they are on particular matters, because it can have an impact on your relationship. Now, interestingly, when you think about infidelity around the world, I mean, places like Indonesia or Somalia or Pakistan, Iran, adultery, you can be stoned to death. We've heard those stories. We've even seen those videos. We have seen certain countries where if you cheated on your spouse, literally you would be humiliated. They would bring you out in the middle of the town and there would be this hog spitting session where wads of spit it's crazy. I mean, I've seen these. It is one of the most publicly humiliating display. It's just not worth it, folks. It's just not worth it. There are consequences for the things that you do. And oftentimes when you're in the affair, you're not considering the consequences. You're not thinking about the future. All you're thinking about is the present moment. And sometimes we will compromise family. We will compromise morality. We will compromise all types of things, our careers, our reputations, for a momentary fix that does not last. And even if it did last, even if this was the relationship that wound up becoming your next relationship because your relationship with your spouse did not work out, don't you know that 92% of all relationships that started as an affair do not last? They fail. 92% failure rate. So it's just not worth it, folks. It is just not worth it. Now, let me unpack this for you, because who are we cheating with? I think this speaks to what we've been sharing for quite some time, which talks about how dangerous affairs can be. Now, 23% of people who engage in affairs are having an affair with a stranger. That's more of the one night stand. I went to a bar. I got drunk. I met someone. We went back to the hotel room. Stranger. Never plan on seeing them again. We have an arrangement. We're separating. I don't know the person's first name, last name. It is what it is, what it is. Vacation, business trip. That's what that is. 23%. Interestingly, 23% of the people that we cheat with happen to be ex-lovers. So there's some sense of familiarity. There's some history. And this is why social media is so dangerous, because it allows you to connect with people that you've had previous relationships with, that you've gone to school with, people who you were your first love, your high school sweetheart, your past relationship. And so because of pings and DMs and likes and shares, we're able to connect and have easy access with people we have a history with. And according to the statistics, because when you know about divorces, one of the reasons why divorces take place is because of Facebook involvement. As an example, after 30 minutes of communicating with a past lover, the brain has an emotional memory. Those emotions begin to come back. So the way you felt about that person when you were in that relationship, after 30 minutes of texting, boom, those feelings can come back. After 30 days of communicating, that relationship can go from online to offline. Now we're meeting for coffee. Now we're having long walks. Now we're going to dinner. Hey, I'll meet you at the hotel room. And it wasn't supposed to start off, it wasn't supposed to end off like this, but somehow, I don't know, we just reconnected. Something happened and we got caught up. See, 22% with an old boyfriend, girlfriend, past lover, so on and so forth. Now, as we continue to go forward, 40% of affairs are with a friend. That's right, a friend. And we use the word friend loosely because it can imply many things. It's either like my friend. I mean, we were cool since, I don't know, middle school, elementary school, high school. I have a long-standing relationship with this person. Or maybe it is a friend. Think about it. If I'm married and I go on couple dates, right? We double date with another couple and we're really close to that couple. oftentimes you will find, because we don't have boundaries and borders and correct parameters, we cross boundaries, we cross lines and form emotional connections and attachments because we're in the same social space. I'm seeing you often. You come to my house, I come to yours. Yes, we do it as a couple, but we do secretly connect with one another. And we see this thing happen all the time. A friend can be a neighbor. You know, when I go out to get my mail, hey, Joe, hey, Sarah, and we're talking and having light conversation, talking about what's going on in the neighborhood, the community, and that forms a connection. I know that the husband leaves for work at 7:30 every morning and doesn't come back till 6. I work from home. So it's easy to ring the doorbell, send a text, meet somewhere, go for coffee. These are the things that happen with so-called friends. And this is why we say close call friendships can really create a vulnerability in the relationship. Now, that's 40% with a friend, but then 35% of affairs are with a coworker. We told you that the workforce is a hotbed for infidelity. Here we are on the same team. I mean, I can't control what team I'm on. We have a group project. We're working together. Our cubicles are next to each other. We have meetings. We're wrestling and tussling and brainstorming and try to figure things out. When we lose together, man, we got to pat each other on the back. We got to encourage each other. We got to lift each other up. When we win together, we celebrate together. Let's go out to lunch. Let's have coffee. Let's get a drink. Let's do what we do to build camaraderie, right? We're talking about the relational affair that needs to happen. See, this is what happens. When you're working on a team, when you're working in a company, do you have good company morale? Do you get along with your coworkers? Are you friendly? Can you engage in conversations? So it's conducive. It creates an environment that allows intimate conversations and relationships to form. And guess what? Even though we're in the same social space with a group of people, we have a connection that I don't necessarily have with the others. And then slowly but surely, from one coffee to one lunch to one long, we're working late. You've heard that. Yeah, we're working late. Now we're traveling on business together. We're in the same car. All types of things happen. 35% with a coworker, 23% with a stranger, 22% with an ex-lover, 40% with a friend, 35% with a coworker. These are the statistics, and this is why we have to be very careful about how we stick and move and operate in our relationships. Listen, you're watching the Couples Academy show. We got one more segment. Be right back right after this quick break. Hey guys, we're back. We're talking about infidelity myths and facts. Hopefully this is some good information that will help you, but we want to go to some of these comments because I think it's important that we cover it. Toots says, how do you get over the pain? It is so hard. I think that can be combined with DC's comment, which says, how do men deal with the humiliation of the betrayal? I want to combine those. And so whether it's a male or a female dealing with humiliation, how you deal with it is exactly the same. It's the same way you deal with the pain. It is not something you can do on your own. you need a number of different things. There's no silver bullet, okay? So first, what I think you should do, number one, you have to become a student of infidelity. Well, why? Usually the person who did it is not interested in learning more about what they did because they just want to move away from it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to think about it. They want to push it away. Usually the betrayed spouse is the one who's ruminating about it. It's always on their mind. They're stuck as to why. They don't get it. They don't understand. And so oftentimes those are the ones that watch the videos, who read the blogs, who get the books, who get knowledgeable about affairs, why affairs happen, with whom do they happen, what are the signs of an affair. So the first thing I would say, to deal with the pain, I think it's important to have a working knowledge and understanding of what it is, and to remove your biases and to remove your emotional disgust for your situation as you're reading, to understand. Like oftentimes we want to get inside of the mind of the person who did it, and we want to understand why they did it. But as they begin to explain, we beat them up, we shut them down, we talk over them, we say that that's stupid, it doesn't make sense. And it may be because we don't have an understanding ourselves as to why people do what they do. And so when they're giving these whys, we think it's a justification. And there, as we said, there is no justification, but we're trying to understand the psyche of a person who did it. What vulnerabilities were created in that relationship that caused someone to lean in that direction. So become a student of the very thing that you are struggling with. Trust me, it is so helpful. It is so healing. Number two, be careful who speaks into your ear. When you are in pain and dealing with humiliation, surround yourself with people who will build you up, who will encourage you, who will pray with and for you, who will give you wisdom and sound counsel. Oftentimes, as I've said, we share our problems with people who share our problems rather than listening to people who have what we want. Don't rely on an Instagram quote or a Twitter tweet or some blog or post on Facebook to give you the wisdom that you need. Because the first question I'm going to ask you is that who do you listen to? Right? Who do you listen to? Who wrote that? Who's the source behind that quote or that tweet or that saying that you've held on to that makes so much sense and it's just resonating with me and it's just giving me life, but it's tearing you further down. It's causing more of a divide in your relationship because you don't have to deal with this and you don't have to put up with that and and we're listening to the wrong voices. Listen, folks, I'm not going to identify people because that's not what I do. I don't call people out. I'm not one of those controversial individuals that are going to, I'm trying to grow my channel and grow my audience. So I'm going to intentionally call other people out and then create videos with their name in it. So I'm not trying to do that. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of voices on YouTube, on the internet that you should be weary of. Like, here's the deal. If I want to be a millionaire, should I listen to somebody who makes $35,000 a year? Wouldn't make sense. If I want to be physically fit, should I listen to someone who's obesely overweight? Right? If I want to get my PhD, should I listen to somebody who's a high school dropout? No. But yet when it comes to relationship advice, we're listening to people who are single about marriage. We're listening to people who are on their third and fourth divorce, but they are experts because their personalities. But yet we want to avoid the divorce and have a long-lasting, mutually beneficial relationship. Who are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Listen to people who have what you want and have been where you are. The next point, you need somebody outside of yourself to guide you through a process. Listen, folks. Every single morning, just started this, but every single morning we're waking up at 5:30. We're going to the gym. We hired a personal trainer because I can't do it on my own. Look at me. I can't do it on my own. Every time I attempted to do it on my own, I didn't have the accountability. I came up with the wrong plan. It didn't last. I wasn't sustainable. I need to find somebody who I can submit to their wisdom and their guidance to take me through a process to get me to the place I ultimately want to be. And it costs. That's right. That's right. And so you need someone outside of yourself who can guide you through a process to get you to a better place. That's how you deal with the pain. That's how you deal with the humiliation of what you're going through. Hope that answers your question. Actually, Toot says, thank you so much for answering my question. Love your show. It has helped me so much. Well, we appreciate you. And we hope that you're getting something out of this. We only have a second to go, so I'm not going to. Rick Bennett, I got your question, bro. I'm coming tomorrow to answer your question. Kingdom Girl ATL, I got you. I see you. Tune in tomorrow. I got you. Babawa, yes, if you want to be someone who's trained to do what we do, reach out to us. We have a program for that. And listen, I want to appreciate all of you who have reached out because you want to be a part of the Couples Academy team and help make impact around the world. I'm excited. We're going to be sharing with you these new team members because they have wisdom and expertise and know-how to really help you in your situation. You're watching the Couples Academy show. Love you guys. See you tomorrow for part 4. It's going to be interesting. Talk to you soon.